Welcome, everyone, to episode 49. 49. My name is David Reed. You're watching Dial the Gate. Thanks so much for your time. I hope you're having a great Super Bowl Sunday. Who are you rooting for? I don't know who I'm rooting for. I just remembered, actually, David DeLuise just reminded me that Super Bowl is today. So, hey, there you go. Hope you're having a great weekend, folks. We have a great guest come up, David DeLuise, Pete Shanahan, Stargate SG-1. Before we get started, I would invite you to like, share, and subscribe our channel. We have announced a new Discord channel. The link is above, so be sure to copy it exactly. A lot of fans come together each week in YouTube to chat, and now the discussion doesn't have to end when the show is over. If you like Stargate and you want to see more content like this on YouTube, it would mean a great deal if you click the like button. It makes a difference with YouTube's algorithm and will definitely help the show grow its audience. Please also consider sharing this video with a Stargate friend, and if you want to get notified about future episodes, click the subscribe icon. Giving the bell icon a click will notify you the moment a new video drops, and you'll get my notifications of any last-minute guest changes. This is key if you plan on watching live. And expect clips from this live stream to appear on gateworld.net and the Dial the Gate channel in the next few weeks. So for this episode, we have David DeLuise standing by. If you are in our live stream right now at youtube.com/dialthegate, you will be able to submit questions to David via the moderators. The moderators will get them over to me, and I appreciate you taking part. Without further ado, Mr. David DeLuise.
Where?
Right there!
Where is... Ah! There he is. Hello, everyone.
Hello, sir. How you doing?
I'm good. I am up at my family cabin house, and it is... I would take the thing, the iPad...
Oh, my God. Yeah, we'd have to...
But it's everybody... It's completely propped up so that I am camera eye level. I can prop up my phone and stuff to do auditions and things, but the iPad has not been properly propped before. Normally it's like this. You see me like this. Hello. So I'm doing well. I was just in Mexico with my wife, who's now back in Berlin. We're working on getting her green card.
Okay.
And that takes time. And other than that, everything is pretty good in my life. I'm pretty happy.
Are you alone out?
Other than the pandemic happening.
Well, yeah, this is true. Are you alone at the cabin, or any other of the clan out there with you, or?
No, just me. My daughter was up here. She lives closer to LA.
Okay.
I'm about an hour and 45 minutes out. So it's just me. And interestingly enough, this place is called Pine Mountain. And my dad, more than 40 years ago, bought the house next door and this lot, and then built this house. So this is the house that Dom built. But like I have all the furniture that, like my breakfast table with my dad when I was growing up. This is his desk that he had when he had just moved out. I have my mom's desk upstairs. I have a bunch of stuff from my life and also from my life growing up. So this is my happy place. And I have my wand because I'm a wizard. I do cameos. You know Cameo, right?
Yes. Yeah, where you can go and talk to your fans.
Yes, and I do sometimes I make a spell. I do a spell, and then sometimes the wand rings and hello. I told you never to call me at this wand. I'm so sorry. I'll be right with you. Just a moment. Yes, call me on the other wand. Okay, bye. So I have shtick. And I have things to do. Okay, things are happening.
That's legit, man. Good for you. Well, that never was in doubt. That you even through all of this nightmare that we're going through right now, you would find your place. So with a wand, no less.
Well, don't we all have to find our place? I mean, we're gonna go cuckoo crazy if we don't adjust and adapt.
Yeah, find some kind of creative outlet, find some way of getting around the current communication barriers and creating new ones. That's what I love about Zoom, because all the actors have been forced to get on it, and all the behind the scenes people as well to continue to work. And I I have to largely thank this situation that we're in for giving birth to this show. So,
Yeah.
you know.
And David, did you know about Zoom prior to pandemic?
Yes. Yeah, I was aware of it, but I never, I didn't have it. So, yeah.
I was not aware of it. I
Okay.
was not aware of it. I was aware of the FaceTimes and the
Skype.
WhatsApp and the Skypes,
Yeah,
which,
the Skypes.
I mean, why go to Skype if you can just FaceTime someone? You know what I mean?
At that
But
point,
the Zoom seems to be better. You know, there isn't like a 4 or 5 second delay. Sometimes I talk to my wife who's in Berlin. It's 9 hours away, and you'll be talking and you talk over each other because there's like we do a test, like and 1, 2, 3, snap, and there's like a 4 second delay. So we use it like walkie talkies. We're like we talk
over. Jeez. Yeah, FaceTime is Apple only, and my parents, I'm not getting them anywhere near an Apple product because they don't know how to figure it out. So, like, we use WhatsApp there, but yeah, Zoom is just great for business. I just love it. Here's your Zoom promotion, folks. Join Zoom.
Right.
So
I have yet to generate a Zoom link. I can click on it, and I can unmute myself, and I can see people. I've actually taught. I teach an acting class for kids. And while I was I taught a class from here, and I also taught a class from Mexico. About 30 kids, break it down in the morning for 15, in the afternoon for the other 15. And it's nice. It's not easy to teach over Zoom, but it's nice that I'm able to still work and connect.
That's exactly right. We all need that connection, especially. So I was sorry to hear about the loss of your mom. My condolences, man.
Oh, David, thank you for saying that. She had Alzheimer's for 11 years. And if anybody dealt with Alzheimer's, it's tough. It's tricky. And I was with her every step of the way. It was very gradual, which is no fun. I mean, sometimes people would be like, oh, your mom has Alzheimer's. My dad was just diagnosed. And, give me a heads up, or, what is there to know about it? And a year later, their father had passed. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. But yeah, my God, my mom toward the end was in a state that she was existing rather than living, so it was very confusing. But thank you for your condolences. And I've had so many people reach out. My mom was so beloved by so many people, and there was a beautiful article that was in there. We got Mel Brooks to do a little thing, and we have a friend, Glenn Toronto, who's a family friend and who helped in the past 7 or 8 years help take care of my mom. Wow. And he is the one who really wrote this obituary that was so amazing. So
wow,
it's nice to have people that are nice in your life.
It's nice to have people who you can always count on and who care. They don't come around that often. So.
This is true. Hold on to them, everyone.
Absolutely, man. I interviewed you for Dialing Home. Christopher and I both did in season 2, which
in that house up in the hills,
right in the Hollywood Hills.
Right.
And MGM has not published it. I'm still hoping that they will. But I was like, I'm not going to wait around for them to do it. I'm going to have David on my show. So here we are. So thank you so much for coming back. You've always been good to me. What was it like growing up in that house?
Loud.
Not necessarily that house, but the group of people was loud.
It was loud. I had, Michael and Peter were,
you're the baby.
At times, I was the baby, and I was innocent until proven guilty. Innocent. It was loud. It was wonderful. It was very creative. I mean, our dinners were like acting classes, like, let's do an improv. Who can make me cry the fastest? But it was always, something entertaining. I'm not a singer. I don't do the singing, but there was singing and laughter and fun. And the people that would come over were, really famous people who just were my parents' friends. Like my uncle, like my godfather is Mel Brooks, and my godmother was Anne Bancroft. And we had the Carl Reiner and Norman Lear and Dick Van Dyke and Carol Burnett and Burt Reynolds and Sylvester Stallone. I mean, these are just naming a few people. Some of those we didn't know as well
Right.
as others. But Gene Wilder was and Gilda Radner, just sweet as pie, and you know, they were wonderful, nice people, you know, but also extremely talented, and you know, hopefully some of that can like rub off on you, you know, whatever. But so my brother Peter, who I'm sure everyone knows, is writer, director, producer of the Stargates, and very into Stargate. So I'll just give you a little background. For whatever reason, my parents would go out of town and leave Peter in charge. And he was only like 17, 18 years old. And you're like, why would you do that? So he would wake us up. He would, at like 1 a.m, he would wake you up and beat you with pillows. And you'd be like, what is going on? And you would try to turn on the light, and the light was out. You were like, what? And he would literally look at you and go, run. And then he would chase you with a BB gun.
Oh,
you with a BB gun. Like, he would hunt you. He had cut the power at the electric box, so you couldn't, you know, see. So then he would just hunt you down. And there was one time where I had like a handgun, BB gun, where you had to pump it. I don't know if you remember those.
Yeah, the air guns. Yeah. Yeah,
but I mean, look, you would only pump it twice. You know what I mean? So it didn't hurt as bad. It still hurt, but we didn't have paint guns back then. Yeah, I'm old. Yeah. So there was one time I was hiding, and he shot me right in the area next to, an inch away. I was like, not cool. So I pumped my gun like a million times, and I chased him, and I went to go shoot him, and I shot this like glass fixture in the hallway, thick glass. So there was just a little BB gun hole. So we just moved it so that you couldn't see it. And then like a month later, my dad was walking down the hall, and it just shattered, and he found a little BB, and he goes, where did this come from? But Peter would, you know, he was 5 years older than me, and he sat on me for the better part of my childhood.
Jeez. And Michael?
So it was fun. I enjoyed growing up. We also made movies. We made home movies. You know, everybody has a studio in their hands now, you know, but back then my dad got us a video camera. It was like, what? Like one of those, like, hold on your shoulders, goes to like a VCR side. If people don't know what a VCR is, but it was like a thing like this. That was a battery charger, and then it would go to a VCR thing. So you had these like huge things you had to carry with you if you weren't plugged in at the house and you wanted to go on location. You had to charge 3 hours to go out and make a movie, which was so much fun. You know, like that was some of my best childhood memories, you know, where my brother Michael, who was in Wormhole Extreme, if anybody remembers,
sure was,
episode, which I was not in, but I love that episode so much. I think it's so funny. Yeah, we just enjoyed making home movies and stuff like that. And Michael would tell us what to do a lot of the time. He would be, you go over there and do this. And I'd be like, okay, I'm in the movie, you know. Do people watch Wormhole Extreme?
Oh, yeah.
As a side? I mean, it's a standalone, right? I mean, it's its own kind of, it's almost like its own little like movie thing based on the idea of the guy kind of remembering things and making that TV show.
Right, exactly. Because he's on medication now, so all of his memories are gone. But in terms of there were 300 and almost 60 episodes of Stargate, and Wormhole Extreme is regularly cited in the top 10, 15. It was a big deal, you know, and that's not just because it was the 100th episode. It's because it was taking full advantage of, for the first time, poking fun at itself, which is what Stargate did very well, particularly SG-1. And I would think that a large part of that contributing factor is Peter, you know.
Yeah, and I think
just a genius.
He wanted to make jokes. I think, you know, there's just so much one can furrow a brow and be serious and go let's get them, or whatever it is.
It's what I do.
Yes, I'd like to bring levity to it for sure.
That's exactly right. But the great thing about Stargate is that it does have those moments, even though it does, do a good job of poking fun at itself. That is an essential ingredient. It does have those moments where it makes you stop and think and go, huh, like your sister-in-law, Anne-Marie, she was in The Other Side, which is one of the best shows that, Brad ever wrote. It's a story about, white supremacy. But it's not even about that. It is about that, but it's not what it is on the surface. And I think that's what's so brilliant about science fiction is how subversive it can be. But, I think that Stargate had all of that in spades.
100%. Listen, when I was working with Amanda, there was very complex things going on. And when I, kind of came in and started working on the show, Richard Dean Anderson had said, I will work for a month of time, whatever, 30 days, right? And what they did was they would bring him in for 1 week, and then they would do 4 episodes of his coverage in that week. So I just had to have 1 episode in my brain, and I was like, oh my God, there's a lot happening. I'm trying to focus on what's happening. And then Amanda, Monday, Tuesday would do episode 3, Wednesday, episode 6, Thursday, Friday, episode 10. And you're like, how are you keeping that in your brain?
It's the job.
Kudos to Amanda Tappan.
My gosh. And what a force of nature she was then and is now. She's one of the biggest directors in Canada.
Yeah.
I've been trying to book her for months. And every time they're like, okay, we're going to have to look into next month. We can't right now. Next month, it's like, you go, girl. That's terrific. You can't feel bad for her, or for yourself. It's like you're doing what you've always wanted to do. She's a great director.
I haven't worked with her in the directing capacity, but I've heard that she's amazing. And she's a wonderful person and decisive and knows what's up and knows the show. Obviously inside and out, but the new endeavors that she's directing and stuff, I think one of them, didn't she partially create one of the newer shows? I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
She's talented, very talented.
She has so many irons in the fire right now. There's I think another Sanctuary, something about Sanctuary and a reboot or something like that in development again. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, but what if at some point we'll have her on and ask? So you heard about Stargate through Peter? Let me back up. Did you see the feature film? Did you see it in the theaters in the 90s?
So I did see the film, and French Stewart was in it, who I worked with for 7 years on Third Rock from the Sun.
That's right.
And I don't know how many years ago, but I did a rewatch, and you see the whole crew in who's the actor who
John Lithgow?
No, in Stargate in the movie.
You're talking okay, well, Kurt Russell had his glasses on, and then you had James Spader.
James Spader, so many things you see. You pause it, you see the entire crew.
Yeah.
Which is so weird. And
they digitally remove that now.
Oh, they have?
Well, no, they can now these days. But now, I mean, at some point,
I have a special effects friend who lives in Canada, and his name is James. I think he worked on Stargate and stuff and different shows with Peter and Anne-Marie. Mm-hmm. And he worked on these shows that I did, these movies called Pup Star for little kids. But he just recently sent me a documentary on all of Stargate. And it talked about the beginning, like that movie. Also, there was like a lawsuit. There was a person who wrote something called, like Egypt Wars, or there was the word Egypt in it, and won.
Wow.
I believe that a judge said that his material was close enough that they had to pay him.
No, a fine. Okay.
And you've never heard this?
No. No, I've not heard this. But James Titchener, I think, is who you're referring to.
Yeah, and then they also talked about the movie. I think made 70 million domestically, and then foreign made like 120 million.
It exploded.
Even though it got a 49 from the critics, but like a 70 from the fans, So it was interesting, and it was very successful. And then those guys went off to do
Independence
other
Day.
Movies. Yeah, but then we're going to come back to Stargate.
Correct.
But then Canal bought it and started doing the series, and so those guys were like, "We're out. We're going," and made Independence Day and many other big movies like that. But it was so interesting to hear the backstory. If you haven't seen this documentary, which
please send it to me.
I will send it to you.
Yeah, you were like, what? There's a Stargate documentary out? So absolutely. The Egypt and aliens thing, I'm not surprised at that part of it at all, because that was heavily borrowed for that feature film. So,
yeah.
But you came in a prominent guest starring role in season 7. Peter had been involved, I think, since season 2 of SG-1, if I'm not mistaken.
He was involved season 2, and when it was still on Showtime.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yep. He has cameos going as far back as season 2 of the show. So
interesting. So I know this for a fact. Peter was up there. Cannell did 21 Jump Street. Peter came back to Americas. It wasn't very fun. All his connections really were in Vancouver, And by the way, 21 Jump Street and like Wise Guy, there were like 3 shows, whatever it was. There were 3 shows that started in shooting in Canada. And it was like the beginning of, obviously Canadian television was happening, but it was one of the, the tax incentive was huge. I think it was like 25 or 30% even.
It's a big deal.
You really get your bang for your buck up there.
Right.
And so Peter had all these connections, directed several of the 21 Jump Streets, and then went back to do other directing things up there through Cannell and stuff. And a director on Stargate was slated, and then, I don't know, got sick or something happened. And they were like, we're in a pinch. And they went with Peter. And I'll never forget, they liked my stuff. I was done early, and I had 52 setups of camera stuff. You know what I mean? So he got a lot of coverage, which is important for the editor to be able to cut stuff together. And he then, because that one director was sick or whatever happened, he then became
everything.
Part of the show.
I cannot imagine what Stargate SG-1 in particular would have become without Peter DeLuise.
I don't know either.
Without the Jaffa. He was so important to that show, and I would give a digit to get him on. David, I almost swear.
He's done a lot of this, and Peter and myself and Michael went to Germany and to France. They did conventions together a long time ago, and he did a lot, of that kind of stuff. And at a certain point, you want to move on and
I don't blame him.
Go next thing. Although pretty much all the Stargate fans are very happy to continue Stargating.
That's exactly right. I'm very thankful for it. That it is a show that, as Brad Wright and many of other people have put, is evergreen, and every new generation interprets it in their own sphere. And I think that that's one of the benefits of this series, is that you can gain new. I grew up on Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, and I watched them as a kid. Is one thing, but then you watch them as an adult, and it goes back to that subversive nature of science fiction. It's like, wow, there is so much more here on another go around that I didn't even notice. And that's one of the nice things about discovering a lot of these shows as kids is you get to reinterpret it as an adult, and you find so much more there that you weren't even aware of before. Or maybe maybe it's just in your own mind and you're just reinterpreting it in a different way.
Well, you can read a book when you're 15 and read a book when you're 30. It's totally
That's
different.
exactly right.
You're a different person. So I was a big on Next Generation as well, and so you didn't watch any of the originals?
Oh, absolutely, I did. I just really cut my teeth on Next Gen. I definitely grew up with the original as well.
Because my dad, we had I'm going to say the word VCR or the acronym VCR again. Wait, what is that?
Video cassette recorder.
Roger. We had, because it was Desilu Productions that produced it. Lucille Ball and
Lucille Ball.
And my dad got a copy of all three. There's only 3 seasons. All 3 seasons gag reels.
Oh.
But it's online now. It's up there, and it is so funny to have, Leonard Nimoy go, as Spock, like, don't worry, baby, I screwed up this morning too. So, and you're like, what?
Oh my God!
There's so many like people walking into doors and stuff because it was like they had timing,
Yeah, exactly right.
I encourage everybody, if you like Stargate, if you like Star Wars.
One more.
If you like Star Trek, check that out. Go in there. My daughter has the call letters tattooed on her side.
Oh, NCC 1701?
Yes, which was Roddenberry's original street address, like across the street or something like that.
I didn't
Peter
know that.
told me that. Peter's such a science geek.
That is a great little trivia. Jeez.
It's something that it was like the address of the house across the street. That's where there's no, I think.
Wow. Yeah. I've got it. I've got one of them right here. So.
I loved watching the Next Generation 2, and I worked with Will Wheaton, on a movie, and I saw him recently. Super nice guy, but remember, he asked off the show, and then he asked back on the show, which was very interesting to me.
Oh, you mean leaving in season 4 and then returning, or?
Yeah, I love that it's season 4. Yes,
it's season 4. Final mission, man. It's one of the greatest episodes of the show.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I think so. That's what it was called, Final Mission. That was his exit episode, and then they had him back at least, I think, once a year for the rest of the series. But he wanted out. He wanted to explore other options. So,
which is understandable.
You can't blame him. It's a pivotal point in your life,
Listen, when you get into these huge franchise things, it's like a band that has a song that people love. And then you keep singing that same song over and over and over again. You want to sing a different song every once in a while,
That's exactly right. I understand it completely. Tell us about getting the role of Pete.
I was in Burbank with a friend of mine, John Putch, and Peter called me and he's like, this is how I talk to Brother Peter. He talks like this. What is my imitation of Peter? And his imitation of me is this. He makes me a crazy person. So he said, there's this part coming up, and he's a grown-up in the show. He's a grown-up. And Peter Green, is that his name? Green. Who's the producer?
Peter West?
No, Green. There's got to be a Green.
Peter Green.
No, not Peter Green.
Peter Green. A producer named Peter? Besides your brother?
Maybe not Peter. There was a producer.
Okay.
And I have to look. There must be like 100,000 producers.
There were quite a few. You had John Lennox.
Stargate.
This will be a while.
No, wait, hold on. I'm dying here. Give me a
Stargate
sec.
SG-1 Hell, stand by, everybody.
How many producers do you think are listed? Trivia question.
I would think over the course of 10 years, 20, 25.
Higher. One more guess.
36.
Wow. 38. I'm impressed.
Yeah, there's another connection to that. That's how long the wormhole can stay open.
Yeah, but also like Robert Cooper is a co-executive producer.
Right, exactly.
He's Michael Greenberg.
Oh, Michael. Absolutely. Yeah, Rick's business partner through Gecko Film Corp.
So Michael said to Peter, "What about your brother?" And Peter said, I don't know. I'll call him. We'll see. So he called me and he said, would you, Michael, said your name. And I said, well, why didn't you say my name? Why didn't you put my name in the freaking hat? Like what? Little brother complained. We all have nepotism in our family. Like Michael and Peter did seaQuest, and I did an episode with my dad.
Yep.
And we, go back and forth. When I was doing Third Rock, all of them came and did an episode. So that happened. So, all right, I threw Peter under the bus a little bit. But so they say you're going to be Amanda Tapping's old boyfriend come back, right? And I was like, okay. So Will Waring directed the first episode that I did.
Chimera.
But Peter came to me and he goes, do you have to act like a grown-up? And I was like, I have 2 kids, a mortgage, a thing. Like, I am a grown-up, Peter. He just sees me as his little brother kind of thing.
Well, you're stepping into his playpen.
Yeah, I know. And but yes, the best possible way. You know what I mean? Like I will give you,
right.
A shiny other DeLuise on set.
He's giving you crap.
He really wanted me to be a grown up. So I went and I did it. And I had some very, grown up scenes with Amanda in bed talking about things and her not 100% giving me all the information about her job. And not until and I did the show and everybody was so nice and great and I get to shoot guns and do stuff and kiss her. I've got a great story about making out with Amanda, which I say sometimes in my cameos. I do cameos on the app and I do things for fans and I tell this story about making out with Amanda Tapping. So, but my wife will hear it. I'll tell the story in a second and then I'll give you her reaction.
Okay.
And it just was so much fun. I had such a great time. And I'll just be very open with you guys that was a very hard time for me personally, because that's when I was getting out of not being married anymore. So while this situation was happening where I was starting to be a part of Stargate, I was kind of finding my own footing in my own life, right? So I got, when you're an actor, you get free clothes. You get to keep the clothes.
The cowboy boots story.
But Pete Shanahan was given boots.
That's right.
He wore these boots, and I still have those boots. I've resold them and done that. I don't even know. You probably know how long ago that was. I mean, what was that?
Season 7 was 2003.
So, wow, it was a long time ago.
It's a long time ago, man.
You want to do the math and tell me how long ago that was?
So it's 18 years. But I love this story because I remember
my back hurts.
I remember you telling me that, about the boots and how they make you a little taller and stand your back up straight.
Not only a little taller, but when you put on boots, and I think that this happens maybe a little bit with the women and the high heels or something. I don't know. I just felt manly. I felt like I got my mojo back,
Back. Hello, phone.
Yeah, will you hold on one second?
Yeah.
And it's just I have an answering machine, David, and I have to. Let me see. Hey, hi. I'm doing this interview thing. I'll call you after. Okay. Sorry. So the reason I did that is because I have I'm back, everybody. I have an old school answering machine at this house. It's something called a landline. It's not, through the air. And I love it because remember when we were like a long time ago, we used to leave the house and then come back and we'd be like hours like hours later, someone called me.
I have to check my messages.
To what they say. It's so fun, So I didn't know I did that. So the experience of working with Amanda was amazing. I'll just tell
but before you jump to that,
yeah.
One of the things that I remember you talking about with me and Christopher was that Chimera, this episode, came at a time, but like you were saying with your marriage, came at a time in your life when you said, I was starting to get David back.
Yeah.
And it really strengthened you at that time. And I thought that was such a good story.
Yeah. It was very empowering. And even though I complained that Peter didn't pick me for Pete Shanahan, I really appreciated the fact that I got to work on that show, and it made a big difference in my life to be a part of this wonderful thing. And there was a beat where Amanda and I go out and we go dancing at like this old kind of retirement
basement
thing. Yeah, and we go back. Oh, no, you know what? That is that. But there was another moment where my character is bringing her to the house, and I'm just like lost in her eyes, and listen, when you do comedy, you embellish.
Yeah.
You throw stuff out there. Right. But when you're doing dramatic stuff, usually you stay right on point with what's happening, So I had this moment where I'm looking in her eyes and I'm supposed to leave. And we have this like chemistry moment thing. And I just said, have I left yet? And it stayed in. It was funny, but it was that genuine moment as an actor where I wasn't thinking about anything other than being in the moment with her, which was so nice. But the story is when we went to the dance thing and then we came home, Will again was directing this episode. And when we go inside, we're supposed to make out. Now, when you're making out as an actor, you go like this. You go, I have popped a mint, just so you know, and I didn't have any tuna sandwiches at lunch. And I'm, would you like me to go right? Do you want to go left? Like, it's like you want to, be respectful of the other person. And she just said, have at it, like, let's go for it. And I was like,
my God.
All right.
The man is tapping.
So, I kissed her and like I kind of not threw her, but I put her up against the wall. And like I did her neck with loving and stuff, and we made out, and it was hot, right? It was good. So obviously, when you're shooting something, you need to do coverage and different things,
right?
And they beat it. And Will came up and said, we got that in one take. Like, we're good. We can move on. How do you guys feel? And Amanda Tapping said, oh yeah, no, we're doing that again. And so that was my favorite part. So I tell that story when I'm doing the cameos, and she goes again. So now when I'm kissing my wife, we'll be done kissing, and she'll go again. It's so funny. But yeah, come on, it makes me feel good, and that was sweet.
It's a good show, she was with she was her heart was set aside for Jack. That was established pretty early on, that there's a layer of sexual tension that runs throughout the show with them. But sooner or later,
which was genius of the creators to have that be something that is, we call it the Sam and Diane thing on Cheers. Like, are they ever going to be together?
Right.
It's very clever of them.
While he's her superior officer, that's not possible. So, there was that component in it. But at some point, if the show keeps on going, you've got to give the woman something other to do than just talking science technobabble the entire time. Her personal life almost became a joke. And then you came in and helped show that besides her relationship with Janet and Cassandra, that there could be more to her personal life as well. So
right, and also giving her, you know, the awareness that at some point you have to make that decision.
right.
You know what I mean? Like, and I did not know this, by the way, the whole shipper, not shipper
Oh
thing. And I went to a
God, what a wasp nest
and
you were walking
someone was
into.
like, "We're so happy you're here, and just be careful, because there's some shippers here that really don't like Stalker Pete." And I'm like, "Who's Stalker Pete? Who is this person?"
Here we go.
I was like, "What?" And I really had to justify myself. I was like, if you're in a relationship and someone is not telling you the truth and you have a funny feeling, you're going to like check them out. And I'm a cop. So why wouldn't you go after them to see? So
that's what everyone does now today anyway with Google. You know, we all do that now, but 18 years ago, you know,
which was my version of Google, and I got lambasted for it. But I have had several be like, "I'm a shipper, but I love you. I think you're so wonderful and sweet." And, you know, I was like, "Yeah, thank you." But that I didn't know. I was really taken aback.
Pete didn't warn you at all? Peter didn't warn you at all that was, you know?
No.
Because if anyone had their pulse, you know, him, Joe Malazzi, you know, they were watching. And they knew what a huge fan base Jack and Sam had.
Yeah, I understand that. But here's the thing. And this is what I would say to some of the fans. Nothing has happened for many years. And as a human being, there's certain things that need to happen in your life.
Eventually.
Don't you care about Sam? Don't you want her to have a little fun? You know?
Yeah, apparently not. Jeez.
Yeah,
I loved it though. I mean, I loved all. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, would I have wanted her to be with Pete? I don't know. I kind of let the characters do what they want to do.
Together. They had to be together. That's the bottom line. It's just, you know, and then
but you have to give her something, you know, someone to be with.
Didn't it end with all of them at a cabin fishing? Right?
That chapter of SG-1, definitely.
But it didn't fully answer the question whether they were together or not.
There was a deleted scene in Atlantis in an episode Trio where one of the characters, they're on a mission, one of the characters asks something. I forget what the line was. Are you seeing someone or something? But I am seeing someone and he's in Washington, D.C. And at that point, O'Neill was at the Pentagon. So it is from all the people who were involved in the show, it is, as far as they're concerned, they're together. And as far as Amanda is concerned, they're together.
Yeah.
At this point.
And Pete Shanahan is just still crying in the corner.
Nah, I doubt it. I know. He back in Denver. He saved some girl's life.
But now that scene you're talking about was in Stargate Atlantis.
Yeah.
But, right?
Yeah.
But when
she did a season of the show. She was a regular for a year.
Got it. So, but when SG-1 closed, finished, they tried to leave it ambiguous.
Right, because Rick was gone after season 8. They went on seasons 9 and 10, and so there's in season 9, Malcolm Barrett, one of the FBI pseudo FBI, not an FBI agent, but it's basically that was said, "How's Pete?" And she's like, "Oh, you know, we're not really together anymore." But she basically communicated that she was not available. So we have to just acknowledge and accept the fact that she's romantically she's set.
She's okay.
She's okay, and so is Pete. You know.
Yeah.
Well, it would have been what happened in Threads. I mean, it pulls your heart out. You know, that scene of you know, taking the for sale sign. You know, I mean, it's a weighty scene, but at the same time, if she hadn't done that, and you get into a relationship with her, you get married, you get kids, you get this house with a dog, you know, and 10 years later, oh man, what a disaster. So
yeah. Well, also there's a big lie in there.
That's the point. She has to be honest with herself and with him.
Yeah, which couldn't really happen, but she could with Richard.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Absolutely. I have some fan questions for you.
Yes, I'm ready for the questions from the fans.
Everyone wants to know, what's the name of the Stargate documentary you were discussing earlier?
Oh.
Do we know its name? I don't know its name.
Well, I
I've
have
never
to
heard
go
of it.
to...
Was it on YouTube?
Everybody calm down just for 1 second. Stargate, I'm dyslexic, so stand by. Definitive history of the... Oh, shit. I'm going to copy and paste it and send it to you.
Send it to me. Oh, the definitive history of the franchise. Yeah, this is on YouTube. Yeah. It's a fan-made one.
Okay, so you've seen this. You're aware of this.
I have not seen it. I am aware of it, though. I'll go and watch it because I didn't know that about the lawsuit. So if that's in there, then God knows what else is in there. That'll be worth seeing. So.
Who knows? But it was very interesting to me, and it wasn't like I was doing research to talk to you. It was more my friend just knows that I'm part of the show, and so sent that to me, and it was very interesting.
Yeah, very cool. All right. Summer says, recently been rewatching seaQuest. Oh, thank you for the link. Just got it. Recently been watching seaQuest and just started the episode that has you, your brother, and your father. Is there any other show that you all appear together on screen at once? And I think you answered that.
Yeah, I think there might have been. I mean, we all did an episode of 21 Jump Street, not together.
Okay.
Third Rock from the Sun. We did an episode where John Lithgow was sleeping with my mom, and I didn't know it. And my dad, who was like in the mafia, came to, tell John Lithgow to watch his back. And Michael and Peter were in it too.
Oh, so that's too funny.
The Rock from the Sun. And basically I was a very glorified extra in the seaQuest episode. I was running a nightclub, and my dad was, interestingly enough, again, this was a long time ago. Okay, so my oldest daughter, who's now 27, was a baby.
Yep, and daggers.
A little baby.
She's a baby dagger.
To Florida,
Yeah.
But my dad, we were at a nightclub, and he was in like a booth
because he's a smoker.
Yeah. And I mean, we have that at airports, but that's when you could smoke as a human being. And this was like the future where you're not allowed to smoke, but in certain areas.
That was prescient, wasn't it?
Yeah. Right. So there's got to be something else. We did a movie that Michael directed and produced. Peter wrote and starred in, called Between the Sheets. And I was in it. My mom was in it. My dad was in it too. So we were all in that film together. And there must have been, I mean, something else that we were all in together that I can't remember, right now, but.
That's cool, man. Those are the moments that you really cherish, you have, your whole family has been involved in this industry, for so long. And those little beats where you get together and, get together all at once.
Which is so much fun.
Yeah.
And, but when my dad was doing Stargate and did Ergo, and my favorite part of that is when he goes like this and then he turns into Peter.
Can you resist this?
Yeah. Good times.
Absolutely. Teresa, have you directed or at any point do you want to?
Hi, Teresa. Yes, when I was doing the show Wizards of Waverly Place on Disney Channel with the Selena Gomez, I directed 7 episodes of that. And I did the show with the intention of directing that. I've done many episodes of multi-camera sitcom television. And so I knew a lot about what it is. And, really the bottom line is you put on a play and you stage the actors open so you can cover them with 4 cameras, and if you have 10 people in a scene, it's a little tough, but you do different passes, different coverage and stuff. So the answer is yes. I directed 7 episodes of that. and then I did Lab Rats, a couple other Disney shows, and some Nickelodeon shows. One of them being Camp Rock or Something Rock, and then I did the Scott Baio show, See Dad Run, and I really loved it, and it was super exciting. Some of the hardest work I've ever done, because you got to know every single thing. And the one thing about directing is you have to be decisive. So there's this guy, Bob Berlinger, who directed many episodes of television. He did almost all the episodes of Third Rock from the Sun, and he was a go-to guy. And I asked him, I said, what is number one thing about directing and lunch? And right at that moment, someone came up with a prop thing and said, do you want this blue or green? And he goes, blue. And then they walked away, and he goes, I don't know what he was even talking about, but we can always change it back to green if we want. Like, let's make a decision,
Yeah.
So after that, I did about 13 episodes of sitcoms, and then I directed like the kind of a couple of pilots for Friends. And one was very much like the how you shoot The Office. And other than that, I did like a short. I directed a short with some friends, and I had a couple more meetings, and it just kind of fizzled out. Look, I had 13 episodes under my belt. Most of the other directors in that arena had more than 300 plus shows. Now, sitcoms went away. Everything became single camera, half an hour, like Modern Family, right? So it was rare that you would get a sitcom talking when Wizards started, which was whatever. I don't know how long ago. Let's go with, well, Selena's what, 27, and she was 14. Selena started when she was 14, and that's when Disney Channel were almost the only people at that time doing sitcoms, doing like that kind of format, So you had directors that were like dying to direct and had experience beyond experience, So like this guy, Mark Sandrowski, who had done, numerous amounts of television shows. So I've directed. It's a lot of work. I really did enjoy it. And I would be open to maybe directing like an independent film or something, or a short or something, but you have to really love the project because it takes over your world for a year. I produced, directed, and acted in a audio play. I hesitate to say podcast because it was an actual, play. It was called Grandma for President, and it's on Audible.
Okay.
If you have an Audible account.
I love Audible.
Go and check it out. And we got Mel Brooks.
Hey.
And it's really sweet about this kid who writes a paper about, who would he vote for, Ernie Blanders or Ronald Crump? And he's like, why not Grandma? And then she becomes a viable candidate, and it's really cute and sweet. I mean, it's for kids, but a lot of the reviews are, I really enjoyed listening to this with my kids, and I was able to produce it with my wife. It took a year and a half, 2 years to do 10 episodes and get through everything. And, and when the Audible getting back to us on stuff took months, it was just so weird, but fun when I was directing. I enjoyed
Grandma for President.
Yes, Grandma for President on Audible.
Fantastic. Ernie Blanders.
Right? And that was Mel. Mel
that's terrific.
And then I play the dad in it.
There is something about audio dramas going all the way back to The Shadow. I mean, there is something very fireside about that I just 100%. Love. I drive a lot, and I'm always listening.
It's very German to do audio plays. I'm saying that audio play, right? So in Germany, they've been doing it for decades and decades and decades. Like they do that, and we're just now starting to kind of get into it more of a a mainstream kind of thing. Like Rami Malek did one, and it's where you hear all the sound effects and everything. They put you in the room. It's just you don't see anything. That's the only difference.
Yeah, fully produced. Stargate has audio plays.
Oh, really?
Big Finish Productions put a number of them out. They are excellent. And the casts, they bring in one of the cast to do one, and they do all the voices and everything else. It's full of sound effects and a score, and they're brilliant. So, yeah, I completely recommend them. I'll give them to you if you want them. So, yeah, no one heard that. So, go buy them, David. Go buy them.
Yeah. Okay.
So, anyway, very cool. Kronos wants to know, David, what is your favorite type of pizza? Everyone wants to know.
Thin, sliced, big. I will go with, your classic pepperoni sausage. I could also do like what's your basic thing with the cheese and the tomatoes and the basil?
It's what is that called? It's
I'm embarrassed.
There's a word for it. That's just
I want to say
pizza something. Damn it.
We'll figure it out. But
yeah. What were your dad's pizzas like? Margarita pizza.
Margarita, yes, I like a good margarita because you know what you're getting.
That's exactly right.
My dad was a great cook, and
I can't imagine why, with all of his books that come on, man, oh man.
He had the cookbooks called "Eat This, It'll Make You Feel Better."
My mother owned them.
Yeah, well, there you go. They were good. There's a one sauce recipe that's called "Everything But the Kitchen Sink," and you literally just, it's basically like a stew almost that the next day is really good to eat. And yeah, he just would cook all the time. So my dad was also a non-waster. Grew up during the Depression, so
that's right.
The pizza had whatever was available or left over, So he was very inventive in the kitchen. So, I would say my dad's favorite pizza was one that was hot and ready to eat.
And don't leave a crumb.
Right. Oh no, we were not. I mean,
could you leave the table with the meal unfinished, or did you have to finish?
No, there was no real being done when you were full. You had to eat what was on your plate. Like that was the rule growing up, which I followed. When you went to my dad's house, as soon as you stepped in the door, no matter what time it was, do you want a sandwich? Do you want to? And I would be like, Dad, I just ate. And he would go, okay.
No food,
and then you'd sit there and talk for hours or talk about your day and have some coffee or talk. You'd be there for hours.
Yeah.
And he would have already made sandwiches. You take a bite of the sandwich and you go, I knew you were hungry.
In my house, food meant I love you, and saying no to food. Ooh. So.
It's how you care, especially in Italian, Jewish, like in those, if you refuse, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
You eat what you can. Okay. I'll be quicker with answering the question.
No, you're fine. How much time do you have? Are you good?
No, I'm good. Yes.
Okay.
I just have to make sure to call my wife and say goodnight to her.
Got it. Absolutely. John 42. What was it like growing up with so many comedians?
It was great. It was really fun. I mean, I liked trying to make them laugh. Mel Brooks came over one time to go to dinner with my parents, and I was just a little kid. And he said, whoever can fart the fastest wins $1. He goes, 1, 2, and I got $1. Mel Brooks and gas. So like Gene Wilder and Gilda Radner were at the house one time, and I made them laugh, and like making the people laugh that were some of the funniest people in the world, in the business, felt good. and
can imagine.
getting their insight and stuff, you know. So, but Mel was very influential. And Charles Nelson Riley, I don't know if a lot of people know who Charles Nelson Riley, but he was so funny. We had another family friend named Joe Sakari and Ruth Buzzy. All these people just really it was about making the other people laugh all the time. It was not a competition, but it was a competition. You know, like Mel wouldn't leave the house until he thought he said the funniest thing of the night. Then he was like, all right. You know, so it was fun. I was very lucky to be surrounded with these amazing, you know, genius people in the business. So.
Dr. Essex, what was it like working in Vancouver?
It was great. I didn't really realize the idea, you know, I'm from LA, so I had no idea that it could rain that long for that much time, you know. And that really just kind of affects you, you know. But everybody stayed at the Sutton. The Sutton was like, you know, Hollywood's elite.
It's a beautiful hotel.
Yeah, but I mean, you'd go to the bar and you would see like all these super famous people in the bar. You're like, wow, these are famous people, and this is so interesting. And so it was like being in a VIP room, but you were just in the hotel bar. So I enjoyed that. And of all the places that I've been, I've worked probably the most in Vancouver over the years, and I've loved it up there. I really enjoy it, and I think, you know, everybody's nice to a fault. Like if you step on someone's foot, they go, sorry.
Yeah, right. You know, whereas like New York or LA, it's like, don't even make eye contact.
And also there was a place right around the corner from the hotel where there was a Starbucks on one corner, caddy corner, there was another Starbucks, and then on that corner was a coffee shop. I was like, these Canadians love their coffee. So I actually shot the 4 Pup Star movies in Victoria, which I really love that town. The food is so amazing and everybody was so nice. And yeah, you know, the crews in Canada, are, not to say people in America are not professional, but the crews in Canada really are professional and take their jobs very, very seriously. They want to be there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like some of the people that I've worked with in America are just like, I don't want to do this, you know, but so I loved working in Vancouver. And that's where my brother lives now. He lives in Vancouver with his wife and his son, and he's a landed immigrant is what he is. So
it's a great city. I go back every chance that I get. One of these days when COVID's over, you know, we're all going to have to meet up there for GateCon again.
Is COVID be over, or are we just going to kind of adjust to it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. You know, when the COVID situation is put in its place where everyone can, you know, do whatever. Forever's a long time. People are like, oh, this is never going to end. Well, I mean, we'll adjust, you know, but we have to figure it out. So,
David, right? I'm going to do this. I'm going to film you saying hello to Yulia. Okay.
Okay.
So, Yulia, this is David. David, this is Yulia.
Hello.
This is technology at its finest. She just said to me, "Are you still doing your thing?" So you
I'm sorry, man.
How much? No. How about 10 minutes? How's that?
10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Ready? I'll tell her.
Love you.
Oh.
You go ahead.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Hi, Yulia. My name is David. Thank you so much for letting me borrow David for a few more minutes. I'll have him back to you soon. I promise. Hope everything's going good in Germany. Be well.
Okay, perfect. Amazing. That was so sweet. David, I liked you before, but now I really like you.
Thank you. Burned Backhouse wants to know, did you know that she did voice acting for the German voice for SGU?
Oh, that she did SGU, because you know that's what Yulia does. She's a voice actress,
right?
And
She voiced for Gin in Stargate Universe.
Yulia did.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
So David was today years old when he found out that Yulia did the German voice for Gin. I'm assuming that Bernd has done his homework.
Okay, so listen, somebody just said that you did a voice in Stargate
Universe.
In the second
season of Universe for Gin.
Of Universe of
for Gin. Gin was the character's name.
For Gin. It's amazing. I can't believe that. What's his name?
Bernd. Bernd.
Bernd knew that. Isn't that amazing? Amazing. Okay. Does anyone do text messages like that? It's so much easier. Just do a little voice thing.
It's both hands on the wheel in Arizona, so I'm always texting by voice. So, and just pray that it doesn't change any words around at the worst spots.
Yeah, no, I do the talk text, but this is actually like the voice thing. You do
you're actually sending a voice message. Okay, no, I don't do that.
Where I do a lot of, if I'm talk texting, I say, hello, exclamation point. How are you? Question mark. I do all the things.
You have to, absolutely. Otherwise it looks like nothing.
But Bernd, thank you for telling me that. That's really interesting. That's a excellent trivia.
That's great. Was there ever, William Ahrens, was there ever a proposed episode where Pete came to Stargate Atlantis? I don't know.
So. I never got asked to come on Atlantis at all, which I enjoyed that show, and I've hung out with a lot of those actors with because doing the conventions and stuff, and they're all so nice. And Rainbow was on there.
Rainbow, yeah? Oh man, what a great guy!
I'm such a fan of his. He's such a really interesting, super cool guy. I like him a lot.
He's a great human being.
Yes.
Romaine, how do you like Berlin? Any hangouts?
I love Berlin, mostly my wife's apartment, especially with COVID, the Italian restaurant around the corner that is so good. She lives in Charlottenburg. And I love Berlin. We got married there.
Oh, really?
Cool. We got married in something called the Standesamt, where it's a building where you get married and you deal with like death certificates and stuff. And that's it. That's what they do there. And David, you get married in that building. Okay. They have like a room and you don't even meet the person. And they're like, come on in. And
it's the justice of the peace. Yeah.
Yeah. It just is. But like, that's how they do it, and there was a lot of paperwork that had to be done. Germans are very efficient.
Oh yeah.
I like,
like clockwork.
I mean? Yeah.
You don't be late for your trains in Germany. In Italy, they'll take off like 45 minutes late, but in Germany, no.
Exactly. There's a lot of kind of, and also their system. They're like you have to really choose to be homeless there. Like we were driving around in LA and there was like a homeless family and Yulia was like, why isn't somebody helping them? And I'm like, well, a cop drove by. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. In
some people don't want help.
America. Some people care.
Some people, it's different.
So, but to talk about Germany, I love Germany. There's so many wonderful places to go and that I've enjoyed. I've been going there for 6 years. So I love it.
Wow.
Sehr gut. If anybody speaks German, they know that that's really good.
Michelle Palmer. David, was it hard to pave your own way as an actor without
it was good and bad
compared to your dad?
Yeah, well, it was good and bad because you'd walk into a room and people would be like, oh my God, you're Dom's son. You're so funny already. And then there were people who were like, go ahead, be funny. Let's see. Yeah. So it was both ways. We got in to see free movies and stuff, but then we had to like not have a full uninterrupted dinner because my dad was, dealing with a fan or something. So there were positives and negatives to all of that. And me and my brothers all said to my dad, we want to be in the business. And my dad was a big advocate of saying, you can only have a childhood once, but you can always get into this business. So why not, look, we did plays, we made home movies,
right.
We did all that stuff. And I did like a TV movie with my dad where I was, 10 or 11 or that kind of stuff. If it was with my dad, I was doing it. But if it was not, then it was kind of like with school or that kind of thing. And not until I was able to drive a car and take myself to my own auditions was I then allowed. And then I did a Pepsi commercial and a Levi's commercial. And yeah, so when I got my first job as like an actor on my own accord, it felt great. I was a drug addict in a TV movie called Seeds of Tragedy. And they were like, "Do you drive a stick?" And I was like, "Of course." I had no idea how to drive a stick. So all I had to do was pull up and be like, "Hey, what you could," like I was buying like crack cocaine or something. And I was dressed as a yogurt, an ice cream guy. It was weird. But that, they just pushed me, by the way. I didn't know. I put it in neutral and they just pushed me in.
Oh my God.
But I don't know. I would say it's a positive and a negative. Like, it was helpful. And also I had to then prove myself, so.
2 more questions.
And wait, let me just say one more thing.
Yeah.
Dan. I never had a career. I had a baby when I was 21 years old. So it was not about picking and choosing jobs. It was about, I need a job to support my family. So I got lucky when I booked Third Rock from the Sun, and that turned into a recurring for 7 years. And that was awesome. But I never chose a job. You know what I mean? I just was like, I need to work and earn money and support my family. And, like very long time later, someone was like, "So your career?" And I was like, I don't have a career. I just have the jobs that I've done. You know what I mean?
Grains of sand do make a heap.
Say that again. Grains of sand
make a heap.
I've had a couple of heaps.
Raj wanted to know if you were had a chance to come back to Stargate in this 4th series that Brad is working on. Hopefully we'll get off the ground. Would you do it?
Of course. I would love to. I didn't know that's happening. Is that
well, 5 chevrons out of 7 chevrons are locked right now. So that's the phrase that's been going around, is 5 chevrons locked. So we are getting there. It's not guaranteed, but we are all praying.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Well, that would be great. That would be great. And so the answer is yes.
All right.
A couple more questions. I'll answer quickly.
Just one more. Just one, and then we're done. Claire, so we did, my group does Stargate tabletop role-playing games. So there's a role-playing game coming out called the Stargate SG-1 role-playing game. And we get together every few months on the show. We've only done it once, but there's going to be another one coming up for WonderCon, I believe. Would you be interested in joining us for an online role-playing game session?
Can I get more information on that?
That's fair.
Claire?
Yep. I'll send you a link to the one that we did. So you get an act, you get a character, we learn together how to play the game in real time. It's all verbal. There's a map that shows where the characters are. There's someone who takes part in it's Dungeons and Dragons.
I played a lot of D&D growing up, but we'll talk more after this, and I'll give you my answer when I get more information.
All right. My friend, this has been wonderful having you. I've been waiting for the right time, and it's like, you know what? I think it's time to bring David on. I don't know if that other interview is ever going to surface, so let's go ahead and do it. And it really means a lot to me to have you here.
Of course. Thank you for having me, David. And I shout out to everybody. I hope you stay safe, stay healthy, and stay happy.
I will give you a ring in a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and cut you loose now, but I'll call you in a little bit here just to wrap things up with you, okay?
All right. Sounds good. Bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
Brother. Thank you so much.
Here, I'm going to make myself go away with my wand. You ready? Abracadoo, abracadam, abraca. Goodbye.
David DeLuise, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Of course, my friend. I'll talk to you soon. Yeah.
And I think I muted my own mic. Sorry about that. So, all right, going back to it before, if you like what you've seen on this episode, I would appreciate it if you'd click the like button. It makes a difference with YouTube's algorithm. Will definitely help the show grow its audience. Please also consider sharing this video with a Stargate friend. And if you want to get notified about future episodes, click that subscribe icon. If you plan to watch live, I recommend giving the bell icon a click so you'll be the first notified of any schedule changes, which will happen likely all the time. And we have merchandise. I'm so excited about this. Dial the Gate is brought to you every week for free, and we do appreciate you watching. But if you want to support the show further, buy yourself some of our themed swag. We're now offering t-shirts, tank tops, sweatshirts, and hoodies for all ages in a variety of sizes and colors at Redbubble. We currently offer 4 themed designs and hope to add more in the future. The word cloud designs have both a solid background or transparent background option on the site, so you have to click on them to look. So you have some flexibility in choosing a light or dark color. Do keep that in mind when you're making your selection. Checkout is fast and easy, and you can even use your Amazon or PayPal account. Just visit dialthegate.redbubble.com. And thanks for your support. So congratulations to our winner for the Communication Stone for the month of February. You know who you are. For the month of March, more fun. I'm so excited about this one. It's hard to speak. We are giving away an authentic prop from Stargate Atlantis. You ready for this? So you can own a piece of the Pegasus dial home device. For the month of February, Dial the Gate is partnering with Empire Movie Props to give away this piece of the DHD from the Atlantis episode Phantoms. To enter to win, you need to submit a desktop, or use a desktop or laptop computer and visit dialthegate.com. Scroll down to Submit Trivia Questions. Your trivia may be used in a future episode of Dial the Gate, either for our monthly trivia night or for a special guest to ask me in a round of trivia. There's 3 slots for trivia, 1 easy, 1 medium, and 1 hard. Only 1 needs to be filled in, but you're more than welcome to submit up to 3. Please note the submission form does not currently work for mobile devices. Your trivia must be received before March the 1st, 2021. If you're the lucky winner, I'll be notifying you via your email right after the start of the new year to get your address. Big thanks to Empire Movie Props for making this item available to a member of our audience. That's all I've got for you guys. So Corin Nemec, Jonas Quinn himself, will be joining us in half an hour. So be sure to stick around for that. Hope you can make it. Big thanks again to Mr. David DeLuise for joining us. And that's all I've got for you guys. It's a tremendous privilege to continue to bring the show into 2020. And we're just going to keep on rolling with this. Big thanks to Summer, to Ian, Tracy, Keith, Jeremy, Reese, Linda, Gategabber Fury, Jennifer Kirby. You guys make this show possible. My name is David Reed. I'll see you on the other side.